Hello, I'm going to do the Capricorn daily energy, and this may or may not resonate with you. If it does, take what does. If it does not, leave what does not. All right, so we're going to start off with a crystal card for an overall energy, and then we'll get some tarot, some clarifiers. Oh, there we go. Almost dropped it. All right, so we've got that one. Tree agate, stability, grounding, root. Tree agate is a stable force that grounds you back to earth, rooting you to the core of your being. A stone in resonance with nature, tree agate asks that you nurture the seeds you have planted and provide enough sustenance for them to succeed. Weed out the negativity and naysayers, including your inner critic, and know that despite it all, you are good enough. That despite it all, you are good enough. Sorry. It's early in the morning and I need more coffee. All right. Tree agate promotes security in moments of growth, so you feel safe as you expand in your journey. Follow your truth and know that you are supported along the way. Virgo, Mercury. Whew. All right. Nurture the seeds you have planted and provide enough sustenance for them to succeed. I feel like when I was reading that sentence, I felt like the Empress card. Like that's the card that was coming to my mind. All right, so let's see what we got going on for Capricorn. Justice, Two of Swords, Five of Swords, King of Swords, High Priestess, the Fool, Two of Pentacles, and the Nine of Cups for overall energy. All right, so for overall energy, we have the Two of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups. So maybe it's finding that perfect balance within different areas of your life. Like maybe you feel like one part of your life has more attention, but you feel like maybe you have a lot of responsibility and you're feeling like that's where all your focus is, but you don't have that time to yourself. And maybe this is that you want that balance so that you can have that time for the responsibilities, but then you have that time for yourself too, because that's very important. It's very important to have that balance so that you have that time to yourself so that you can regenerate and so that you can get yourself that time to relax, right? Sometimes if we're always on, that's exhausting, it's tiring. And if we're in that loop of feeling like we're going around in circles, that we get burnt out. And I feel like this kind of energy is like making sure that you don't burnt out and finding that perfect balance so that you have that free time and then you have that work time. We have Justice, Two of Swords, and Five of Swords. So right in the middle, we have, I feel like it's what do you want and what do they want? Like you're feeling like you're stuck in the middle, and I feel like it goes back to that, is trying to find that balance, because maybe you feel like you're being pulled in different directions and you're like, well, this side wants all of this going on, and this side, you know, I need this time for me, but I don't want to feel guilty that I'm taking this time to myself because I have all this going on. And I feel like you're kind of stuck in the middle here, right? This Two of Swords right in the middle of trying to decide what do I do? How do I get past this? How do I find this balance, right, between Maybe it could be that it's between two people. It could be within yourself, like the work and the home life and balancing that. So whatever that is, that you feel like you're being pulled in different directions and you're like, oh my gosh, like what do I do? Like being overwhelmed with how am I going to make this decision? And right below that is that high priestess. And I feel like it's almost like you know that the answer inside. And sometimes we have to make those tough decisions. And, you know, maybe sometimes we have to let people down and say, you know what, I can't, I can't continue on this path because it's affecting me and then it's hurting me. But I feel like that answer is within you, especially with it being right below the Two of Swords. I feel like this is something that you definitely want to think about. And I feel like it goes with that feeling of that your head, like what you're thinking, and then kind of that inner feeling, that soul feeling. And I feel like that's where your answer lies, is within that. I almost feel like you know the answer to it, but maybe you're just not ready to express that. Or maybe you need that more time to figure that out. But I'm kind of feeling like with that, like it's just listening to that inner voice. Sometimes we don't want to listen to that. Sometimes we try and find reasons to not listen to it or find reasons why it's not going to work. All right. Let's get some clarifiers. It's hard when you feel like you're stuck in the middle, right? You're like, well, I can't please everybody and myself. Like it's too many things. Like how do I make this all work? We have the Lovers. It could be, like I was saying, it could be between two people. It could be with your relationship, right? Maybe you have a lot of work to do. Maybe you have a lot on your plate, a lot of responsibility, but yet you also want to spend that time with your partner. And you don't want to lose that relationship, right? That's what I was saying. Look at that. Because I feel like the King of Pentacles represents work, and then this represents your partnership or friendships or relationships with people, and that you're feeling pulled in between the two and trying to make that decision of, you know, what do you do here? But I feel like I feel that there's definitely a balance that can work, but it's like you have to make the effort to make that work and kind of set that outline, right? Knight of Pentacles. It may take some time to figure that out. It may take some time to figure out what's going to work best, and maybe it's different things that you have to try. Maybe it's different things that you have to, you know, work through until you can find that schedule. But I feel like it's come to the point where you have to make a decision about something, right? There's something that you maybe have to let go of. But I feel like it's, especially with the Death card and the Fool card, I feel like it's endings and new beginnings. It's kind of endings of one thing and then opening the door to something else. And I feel like you're able to find those solutions. And the Two of Swords is also about looking at all of the possibilities instead of just, you know, giving a quick answer. It's taking that time to figure out what's going to work best for you and your relationships and work and, you know, business and all balancing all of those different areas of your life. And I feel like I feel the answer is within, and you have to make some tough decisions. But I feel like it's for the greater good, and it's almost like this new beginning and a stronger connection. Like it's kind of a new outlook for you, right? And then the Chariot moving forward. And I feel like it's blazing a new path. Like maybe before you were always like doing what everybody else wanted you to do, and you weren't really, you know, you were just, like I said, you were feeling burnt out and you were feeling overwhelmed. But now you're at the point where it's like life is too short, so I want to make sure that my relationships with people, that I keep those strong and that those are good, because that's important to me too. And obviously I have to work, or you're starting a business or whatever that represents, or it could be other people, right? It could be what other people may be pulling you in this other direction, and you're like, oh my gosh. But I feel like you have to decide what is most important for you, and then you focus on that. And I feel like the other things around you will fall in place. When we're going back to that, nurture the seeds you have planted and provide enough sustenance for them to succeed. And I feel like that's these seeds that you have planted, and making sure that you give them that sustenance for them to grow and for them to blossom and for them to bloom. And I definitely feel like that can happen, but I feel like you're sort of in that struggle moment now. But I do feel that it will be able to work out, especially with the Nine of Cups as an overall energy. Sometimes when we're in the middle of it, we're like, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to get through this? How am I going to get past, how am I going to work this out? But sometimes if you just sit down and you just take a piece of paper, and sometimes if you just write the negative and the positives, or the pluses and the minuses, and you kind of can see it on paper, at least that gives you a direction to go in, right? And I feel like there may be different changes and adjustments that you have to make along the way, but it's at least if you feel like you're working towards the solution. Key. New beginnings, directions, and adventures await for those ready to let go of the past. Again, I feel like that goes with the Death card. So there may be things that, maybe there were some routines or some patterns that you had before, and that you were doing things a certain way before, but that's not working now, and now it's time to change that up because it's new beginnings. So I feel like this card coincides with these two cards, right? Letting go of the past, but new beginnings await. So I feel it definitely goes with that. And what is the key that works for you? The key that works for you may not work for other people. And that's what you have to keep in mind, is that your key is for you and your situation and your life. And that's what you have to focus on. And don't let other people tell you that they want, that their way is going to work for you. It might and it might not. But you have to know that it's your path and your journey and your key. You can't use that other person's key on your lock, right? That's specific to you. And whatever you decide that works best for you, that's what you need to go with. All right. Thank you so much for watching. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.